Once we have done this mortar quantity calculations by using the property manager, now let's see how we can find out how much sand and cement quantities we will be in need of to prepare this mortar material. Okay, so here I have explained the entire um, explanation about how to find out the cement and sand quantities. Please pause the video, read this carefully. If you want, you can write it down and then follow the next instructions, which now I'm going to mention in the uh, properties and classification explanation. So in short, I'm going to tell you how the same equations we can define inside the property manager so that we can even compute the number of cement bags which will be needed or sand quantity how much we will be in need of. Even you can apply the rate and extract the amount which is essential to for the as a purchase cost also. So let's go back to the ground floor. That is nothing but where I'm going to start working for my further process. Now here inside the options property manager, now already you have started working with the second group, that is brick work mortar quantities. My next aim is to start working with a new property, and for that I will give name as a cement quantity. Okay, now this cement quantity we are targeting this first of all as in kg, and then later you can convert this into number of bags. So this data type here I will consider as a number. So how many kgs? 10 kg, 12 kg, it's a number. Now this I am going to define, or I am going to extract the information from available data by using the again expression method. Now here the expression which we are going to write, it's going to be a little bit complicated because I'm clubbing several things in a one go, and that too also which I have mentioned in the earlier note about the cement and sand quantity in mortar. So what we are going to do is, say for example, we have already the mortar quantity available with us. So I'm going to first of all take that. So now remember, this mortar quantity is a volume and the expression which you are trying to write is a number. So they are two different platforms. You cannot directly use this volume, length, or such what you can say calculated units. You can't use them directly inside the number or length. Okay, so what I have to do is this particular volume I would like to convert that into a number. So my volume is supposed to be maybe 0.13, and of course that dry volume is supposed to be extra. Okay, so how to convert this? You can check out in your operators and functions. If you check out, the last group is a data conversion, where if you keep your mouse on every uh, data conversion, what you see, equation, you can see its description, example, argument type, result type, and more information over here. So this is what he's trying. Archicad is giving you a brief clue or explanation. So if you check out the argument type, the value can be integer, number, true, false. Okay, so this is something if I'm converting to string, in the sense if I'm having any integer number or true or false, I can convert that into a string, in the sense simple text. If I'm having the second, if I'm selecting the second option, convert unit to string, in the sense the string is supposed to be simple text. Okay, so my this time the argument type is, you can read at that argument type next to that, it is length, area, volume, angle. That means this is the correct option which I'll be using. So if I use this str calc unit, okay, this is the actually the function. So if I'm going to use this, okay, the value over here, obviously because it got replaced, so I just have to go back and I have to select the mortar quantity. So what exactly this means now, that convert the calculated unit into a string, that is into a simple text. So my volume, the value of the volume will no more will be considered as a volume figure. It will be considered as a simple text. Okay. So what are the value was, maybe 0.13 or 0.027. What are the quantity was there? That is now converted into a simple text. Again, from this simple text, I'm going to actually extract some information that is nothing but, if you remember, there's a one more function. So I'm just going to first of all go to the first start of this expression, and here you can see number from string. That means I can extract the number if it is there inside the string. That means what are the text line you have, in case if there is a numeric value in that, I can extract that. Of course, there will be some limitations, but right now in our case, it's a pure number. So I'm going to use this option. Okay, so moment I use this, now you can check out here. I just have to remove this. So start with the bracket, and this has been completed with the bracket again. Fine. So if you read it properly, that is now string to number, and this is what is supposed to be the first bracket. Inside that, string cal unit was my other equation, and that's the reason there are several brackets at the end. So if in case you are not comfortable, you can actually start splitting this way also, so that you can understand what exactly is happening. Okay, so this is supposed to be my first equation I have completed, and this is the second function I have, not equation, I can say function. So this is how it is supposed to be. Okay, so if in case you want to elaborate this, but fine, it's a part of a practice. You start working regularly and you'll realize it's not that difficult. So I'm just going to continue this in a one go. Of course, you can have a, you can take a pause over here, you can read it carefully, and then you can go ahead. Okay, now what is the next condition, that whatever is supposed to be my this quantity is supposed to be this is the conversion of my see mortar quantity into number. What is the next condition, that I would like to extract from this particular quantity? How much is the cement quantity supposed to be? How much the cement quantity I am able to use, or I have to use, I can say. So for that, you just have to first of all start working with the into, then you have to uh, multiply this by say 1.33 to convert this into a dry volume, remember. Okay, and then this entire thing, if you want, again you can put inside the bracket. Hmm? And this has to be get divided by 7 just because of 1:6 is the proportion, which you know very well because you have already been through the notes. So 1:6 was the proportion ratio, and then clubbing, if you add 1 plus 6, it will become a 7. So uh, from the entire 7 units, if I'm using, then 1 unit will be the cement. So if my mortar quantity is supposed to be so and so, then how many units of the cement I'll be using. So this is how I was able to define the cement quantity now. Okay. So say okay for this, and you can just make sure that assign this to the classification, that my wall as a sub branch or a branch, and I'll say okay for this. Now I'm going to say okay for this. Now let's try to add this further in the so if I go inside my label tool, and for the next row where I can now go and try to work for this cement quantity, and I'll say okay for this. You can check out my cement quantity is written as a 0.02.